this episode of Galloping Pirate Radio, where we are continuing our journey down the best of NuWHO with our top 10 lists, or not our top 10 lists, our...
For you, it's a top 109. For me, it's a top 86.
Yes, list. So, we're going to continue. We're going to take a small break with Drew's list so we could catch up and sync our list a little bit more, because as you recall from the last episode, we did our stuff differently. But I almost forgot. I am your host, David Beauchamp, and I'm joined by my co-host,
Drew Meyer.
So,
we left off, I believe, with 82.
Which one for me was Bad Wolf.
Bad Wolf.
I will say we are out of my stage of the list.
And thoroughly into the...
Yeah, exactly. So how many am I going to go through?
You're going to go through, oh God, they're getting nerdy here, 81 to 58 for you.
Okay.
And then we'll both joining in at the 57th episodes, and we can go to
okay.
the list in tandem.
My next two sort of go together. Again, sometimes the two-parters come side by side, sometimes they don't. The Santorin Stratagem and A Poison Sky at 80 and 81.
Mm-hmm.
Not a fan.
They're not bad. That's I believe Helen Rayner's the writer of that. You know, it's like having a female writer on Doctor Who. It doesn't happen all that often. In fact, Helen Rayner's pretty much it. So
yeah. So number 79, which of course you're probably not surprised by what this is going to be. A Christmas Carol.
Christmas Carol.
Because out of all the Christmas specials, my least favorite so far.
That's impressive.
Yeah. Then we go to another two-parter at number 78, The Impossible Planet, and number 77, Saint and Pit.
Mm-hmm.
Good episode, not great episode. You know, take it, leave it. Like we said, I'm in the
I think also keep in mind this is not what we think are the best episodes, but what we think are the best. It's entirely what the episodes we like.
Yeah, because honestly, in order to actually come up with a true list of what is the end-all, be-all of Doctor Who list, you would have to pull the entire world now. Everywhere from, I'd say, Russia,
and then still just people.
China. Yeah, but I mean, if you take a large enough sampling of the population of the world, I think you could get a pretty good, decent idea of what is considered, I think it would be a fascinating project to do.
Yeah.
Not by me, though, because I wouldn't even have the contacts, especially Antarctica. Then we go to number 76, Tooth and Claw.
Tooth and Claw.
Yeah, like I said, I have a larger list than Drew, so some of mine, it's okay episode. Then we go to 42, which was the mysterious one that couldn't remember for a while.
Sure.
If I had seen or not, but decent episode.
Mm-hmm.
Then we go to Doctor Who Children in Need, which was our introduction to Tennant as the Doctor, right after the regeneration, before the...
Christmas Invasion.
Christmas Invasion, that's what I thought it was. It was fun. And from what I'm hearing, rumor only, that we might get the exact same thing with Capaldi. So we could jump straight into the adventure. Then we get to another two-parter. At 73, we have Flesh and Stone, and 72, The Time of Angels.
Mm-hmm.
Then, this is probably going to surprise people that it's so low on my list because it's such a fan favorite. Mm-hmm. Another two-parter with number 71, Silence in the Library, and then Forest of the Dead. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm looking at 180 episodes of Doctor Who.
Sure.
And, they can't all be in number one.
No, they can't.
They can't.
On your list, they cannot.
No, they can't. And I was really good. No, not on my list. Then at 69, we have The Runaway Bride. At 68, The Fires of Pompeii. Mm-hmm. 67, Planet of the Dead. 66, The Doctor, The Wardrobe, or The Widow and the Wardrobe. 65, The Power of Three.
Mm-hmm.
Then we jump to, at 64, The Crimson Horror. At 63, we have Hyde. Then, I'm really surprised this is so high on my list, but it honestly is The Woody and River Song. Because I ranted and raved about that for a while.
I can't remember, was it ranting or raving?
It was a little of both. Because I still say she married a robot and not the actual Doctor, but everything else in that episode really is fun and holds up, and I like it a lot.
Everything with the wedding, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with you 100% on that
one. At 61, we have The Vampires of Venice. And I know we're getting to the point where, it was hard.
Yeah.
It got really, really hard, and it gets harder and harder as we move up on the list. 60, we have Voyage of the Damned. Then at 59, The Unquiet Dead. 58, 57. For 58, we have, which is another two-parter, Army of Ghosts. And then 57, Doomsday. And I really did think that the second half was better than the first.
So now that we're caught up.
Are we caught up?
We are caught up.
We did it.
58.
Wow, awesome.
There we go. So you did that in like no time at all. So
exactly.
For me, 58 is Fear Her.
Oh, cool.
Which is an episode that I do not understand why it was so maligned. I think the Chloe Weber character is a really... I think it's an actually creepy episode, and I think the only downside of it is the thing tied for the Olympics. And, and it's...
I thought it would have been really cool, and I kept waiting to see if they actually let him do it.
Yeah. Well, Matt Smith was one of the first carriers, and Tennant was not, and so I think that definitely upset quite a bit of the fans.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I did 58 and 57.
Okay, so my 57, Voyage of the Damned.
We're pretty close. I mean, honestly, with that.
Yeah, Voyage of the Damned. That's actually one that I don't think is actually a really great episode, but it's kind of fun.
Exactly. It holds up. It's a solid episode.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely got its moments. Yeah. As long as you watch it as a disaster film, and I think what saves it for me more so than anything else is the Christmas aspects of it.
I never thought about it, but you know what it reminds me of now?
What's that?
The Poseidon Adventure.
That's what it's Poseidon Adventure in space is how it was pitched.
Okay, I had no idea. I thought it was more like the Titanic in space.
No, it was definitely the Poseidon Adventure in space.
And it makes so much more sense now with some of the scenes that they shot.
And the stereotypes and so on and so forth.
Yeah. Okay, you
56?
56, the Shakespeare Code.
Okay, 56, the Shakespeare Code.
Really? Did we?
Really?
Wow, that is impressive. Because we have not seen each other's lists. This is kind of the exciting thing.
I think it's a decent episode. It's firmly right in there in my 6s and 7s.
It's one of the better Martha episodes where they actually wrote her decently.
Well, here's the thing, though. I think the first 3 Martha episodes are actually decent, and after that, she just becomes lovesick puppy.
Yeah.
And what's really interesting about Martha, and I keep on forgetting about this, is they use her so much in season 4.
Yeah.
She's in almost half of the episodes in season 4. So.
Okay, then I sort of have a two-parter here. I'm gonna do them together. 55 with the Rebel Flesh and 54 with the Almost People. Again, I like the second half better than the first. And honestly, I think the reason why is that last 5-10 minutes where they just with the Amy.
Oh well, I think the Smith double act is really great.
Oh yeah, I love it when he plays himself. It's great stuff, and I think it really gives him a chance to explore his character more so than when he's up against a monster or something.
Or playing the other side of himself, as in Nightmare in Silver.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nightmare in Silver, is that?
Yeah, that's
right?
it. Yeah, okay. Sadly.
So for me, 55 is Time of the Doctor, the most recent Christmas episode, and there were parts I really like about it. But as we start moving into some of these, it is.
I'm gonna have to.
That's okay.
Yeah, your decision. No,
look, for your putting the Forest of the Dead and Sons of Light so low on your list, your opinion becomes invalid. So that's okay. It's fine.
Okay, where are we now? I think it's you now.
Well, I just said Time of the Doctor, so 55.
Because I did 55, 54.
Oh, you're okay. Okay, so 54 for me is the two-part of the Sontaran Stratagem and the Poison Sky. I think it's actually really a fun episode. It's not bad.
Yeah. Then I have Planet of the Ood for 53.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
53 for me is Rebel Fish and Almost People.
Yeah, it's kind of, honestly, it's really kind of cool how our lists are sort of syncing up.
They're right in the middle with that one.
Yeah.
And then I think the ones that you find that some discrepancy with is becomes more of personal taste.
Exactly,
than anything else.
Personal choice, personal taste.
And I'll tell you, I'm recovering from a cold. I watched about 12, 13 episodes of Doctor Who in the last 2 or 3 days, some of the ones that I hadn't seen in a while, and that actually changed my list between 2 days ago and today. So there's some vacillation going on in here, and that's it's kind of like you study it, it changes.
And I really think that any list that you do is organic. It's going to change.
Absolutely.
Because your opinions are going to change. Your personal preferences are going to change. It's like it's a Star Wars thing all over again. which is better, Star Wars or Empire Strikes Back. For me, it depends on what mood I'm in, what I'm looking for. Sometimes Empire is better. Sometimes Star Wars is better. I think that's the same thing that happens with Doctor Who or anything that has so many episodes, especially so many good episodes.
Yeah.
It's going to wax and wane.
Well, I think also, your tops and bottoms are probably going to stay relatively the same. It's the stuff in the middle, depending on where you watch it.
It's going to fluctuate.
Yeah,
or who you even watch it with.
Oh, well, anytime I watch it with my wife, I am a much harsher critic of the episode because I'm watching it through a non-fan's eyes.
Yeah. So 52 for me is the next factor.
All right, 52 for me is the three-parter, the only three-parter in Doctor Who, Utopia, Sound of Drums, and Last of the Time Lords. Really love Utopia. It's a really solid episode, good ending. Utopia. Though I don't like the future kind. I think the idea of, so many trillions of years in the future, the technology is more or less the same, and the only thing that separates them is they have sharpened teeth and they look like they're from Seattle or Portland.
Yeah.
But Sound of Drums and Last of the Time Lords, it kind of loses it a little bit for me. It's not a terrible episode. It's just that, as season finales go, it had its moments. I know you don't like the Dobby Doctor.
No, I gotta hate that with a passion.
And I gotta agree, after watching it this past weekend, that definitely drops it down. If I was doing your list, Utopia would be up there really high, and the other two we would have talked about them a long time ago.
Exactly, which is going to happen. 51 for me is Victory of the Daleks.
Yes.
Yeah.
For me, it is Closing Time. I really love the Craig episodes. Yeah. I'm hoping we'll get another one. But it basically feels like a rehash of The Lodger. It's not as good as. And I don't want to say that the Love Conquers All is, though admittedly I love the introduction of Stormageddon. By the way, Stormageddon is anyway, we'll talk about that later. So good episode.
So 50 for me is Night Terrors.
Night Terrors. Yeah. 50 for me is Name of the Doctor.
Wow.
Yeah. Look, and I mentioned this before. Name of the Doctor, if you scrape away all the nostalgia and all the cool little nods to the past, it's not that great of a story. There's an abstract threat and a completely abstract solution to it, So she jumps into his timeline. We don't understand. I would have, for me, the potential of how it could have been keeps it from being higher on the list.
And that makes sense. Again, it's personal preference, because for me, which I've said before, Day of Doctor, Night of the Doctor, Time of the Doctor, all that stuff, kind of come together as a trilogy sort of thing, or actually quadrilogy now.
Here's the thing. No, I believe that the Night of the Doctor and The Last Day are both prequels or preludes to Day of the Doctor.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of episodes where we do get that 1 or 2 minute prelude that is released on the internet to get you excited.
Yeah.
That you don't have to have in order to get, and really you don't have to have Night of the Doctor to appreciate Day of the Doctor.
No.
And I'll tell you something, including Night of the Doctor in Day of the Doctor has moved it so much higher on my list because of it, and as we'll see.
Okay. So 49 for me is Smith and Jones.
Smith and Jones. I went with Gridlock, which I love. It's a good episode.
Yeah.
Though what keeps it from being higher for me is I can't watch it all the time. It's a good, enjoyable episode, but the rewatchability is not as high.
See, for me, I have that rewatchability. I don't know. There's something about the cats.
Well, Arlen Hartle, who plays Father Dougal McGuire on Father Ted, is in it, and it was enough to make me buy the action figure, because the only way you're going to get a Dougal action figure.
Okay. 48 for me is Fear Her.
Okay. For me, if we're going to 47, is The Beast Below.
Wait, no. I did 48. You didn't do 48. You skipped your 48.
Did I? Oh, you're right. Ha-ha! By the way, 47 will be The Beast Below. 48 is The Next Doctor.
Yeah. Comparable where we are in our lists.
Yeah.
48 for me is Fear Her.
Mm-hmm. Okay, 47, The Beast Below.
Okay.
Not the lowest Moffat on my list, as we saw.
Oh, I said Fear Her twice. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. It's okay. I messed you up. We're both recovering.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what my lowest Moffat on the list is, and Dr. Widow in the Wardrobe for me.
Yeah. Basically for me was the reason why we haven't had a couple of episodes was I had a bone infection, and it took me out of the game for a little while, and I did not realize how sick I had been for almost a year because of the infection, and I'm much better now. So I am at number 47 with Idiot's Lantern.
Okay. I'm at 47 with The Beast Below.
Yeah.
With 46 for me was The Bells of St. John.
Yeah. 46 for me is The Daughter's Doctor. I'm still waiting for Jenny to come into play because Moffat didn't want her to die. I'm waiting for Moffat's... And I think it'd be really great to bring her in now with Capaldi. So you could really have that grandfather-granddaughter relationship.
I think that would be excellent.
But she keeps popping at those babies.
Yeah. Tenet.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that would be a much better dynamic than bringing Uriah Smith. I think as far as a strategy for Moffat is concerned, knowing that they didn't kill her off and she's still out there plays into his whole red herring aspect of the way he seems to be as a producer for the show.
Yeah.
So, what are we on?
45.
45. I already said The Bells of St. John, right?
You did say The Bells of St. John.
I did. So 45 for me is Amy's Choice.
Oh, good episode.
It's a really good episode, and there are no bad episodes.
I'm now on the part where it was getting harder and harder to sort the list.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to say that 45 for me, because I think Amy's Choice is actually supposed to be one down on here. 45 for me is The Stolen Earth and Journey's End.
Okay.
And I'm going to switch that with Amy's Choice.
Okay, that's
because
fine.
I watched this Stolen Earth and Journey's End this weekend, and I watched Amy's Choice, and I definitely say I liked Amy's Choice better. So.
Okay. 45 for me is The Rings of Akhenaten. Because we talked about that extensively, about what we liked and what we didn't like about it.
You were far more forgiving toward the end.
Yes. I thought it was very sweet.
Here's the thing. I am in full support of... is it Neil Jordan?
Yeah.
Is it Neil Jordan?
I think so.
Okay. Because for some reason I feel like that's the guy who did The Crying Game, and that's not right. I'm in full favor of him writing as many episodes as possible. I know he's an amazing writer. Akhenaten probably should have been a two-parter, and if they had stretched out a little further, I would have been fine with more singing. You've heard my complaints.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. Which in yours is...
I'm going to say Amy's Choice. I'm going back Amy's Choice.
Okay. For me, 44 is The Snowmen.
Mm-hmm.
Because we didn't get Yeti. If we had Yeti in that episode, it'd be much higher on my list.
Yeah.
I still want my Yeti, but I don't think we're going to get it because I think we're done with the Great Intelligence.
Yes, I think we're probably done with the Great Intelligence, but I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't get Yeti again. Yet again, the Yeti. A rogue Yeti. I think that would make a great...
Well, we haven't had the Yeti since the Five Doctors. I want a Yeti.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm very pro-Yeti.
We've had snowmen, just not the abominable kind.
Right.
Let's see. 43. Let's Kill Hitler.
We've talked about our likes and dislikes, or at least I have with Jason Butane about my likes and dislikes of that episode.
Sure, absolutely.
For me, 43, Parting the Ways.
Mm-hmm. 42, The Wedding of River Song.
Oh.
And, someone posted something recently, an article on River Song and how Moffat had done a disservice to her. I find that River Song in her first appearance is probably one of the best characters in all of Doctor Who. But just like the Weeping Angels, there's diminishing returns.
Exactly.
Here. And when you realize that the Doctor doesn't marry her because he loves her, but the Doctor marries her just to get her to kiss him so that they can restart time, that's not a love story. It's basically blackmail. But the rest of the story is fantastic. I love Mission Mash history. I'm a big fan of that. So.
For me, 42, God Complex.
Oh, I love that episode.
It's a great episode.
It's a great episode.
And I'm still upset that we never got that one Doctor as a companion.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. Well, when we do our episode on Almost Companions, she'll be up there nice and high with that. 41 for me is The Vampires in Venice. Love it. And it has one of my all-time favorite Matt Smith's episodes now that he's gone. The Tell Me Your Plan. Oh, Vampires in Venice. This is Christmas.
Yeah.
Just the joy of it.
41 for me takes us all the way back to the very beginning. Rose.
Okay.
I watched it not too long ago. It's a solid episode. It's a fun episode. Not the best, not the worst. Solid 41.
I wish Clive, I think his name was, had survived.
Yes.
Because I think he was a really interesting aspect of the show that could have been used. 40 for me, Love and Monsters.
Love that episode because it's just so different.
And I think that's the beauty of it. If we were doing episodes of best Doctor Who episodes, it would be lower on the list because it's not a great Doctor Who episode because the Doctor doesn't play much.
It's a Doctor Light episode.
But I think it's a very brave choice on RTD's era. I think it's very well done.
Yeah.
And the only, if you had to say something bad about it, the Absorbaloff was not imagined all that great, but it was also designed by a kid.
It was Blue Peter.
Yeah, so.
And I totally respect Blue Peter and Doctor Who, the way they work together, that like kids really have a
It was, however,
influence.
supposed to be the size of a bus.
Yeah.
But,
Well,
budgets, children, budgets.
Okay. Number 40 for me, Dinosaurs on a Spaceship.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest, this would be much lower on the list if it did not have the Ankylosaurus intro. And if we've had more Ankylosaurus, it would have been higher on the list. I love the Ankylosaurus. Andrew gave me an Ankylosaurus one day, and I was just like, oh, Drew, you gave me an Ankylosaurus.
Have I only given you one?
Only one.
Wow, okay, I got some things for you in storage. Number 39 for me, End of the World. Which is, I think...
Wait, what one? 39?
39.
Awesome. Guess what?
Yep.
End of the World, 39.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as second stories go, I mean, if you're going to take your companion to the future, it was a very brilliant way. And
I love the Tree People.
Tree People are fantastic. I give you breath from my lungs.
I would love to see that race come back.
Yes. There was a whole... there was a... Doctor Who something of Worlds. It was an online game. It's about to close down.
Yes.
I got an email from it. But they play actually a major part in the first story arc of that.
Wow.
It was really good. It was a good game, puzzle game. There are better ones out there now. So
yeah.
All right, 38 for me. Smith and Jones.
Yeah. 38 for me. The Bells of St. John.
Mm-hmm. We didn't really talk much about. I guess we've talked about our review of Bells of St. John.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, because some of these, we've done episodes on.
Sure.
We really don't have to rehash.
It's true. This one, 37 for me, I know is probably higher on your list, Partners in Crime.
Oh, yeah.
I rewatched it again this morning, or yesterday morning. Really, just an excellent fun. And you know what's amazing? I timed it. They don't meet each other until 22 minutes into the episode.
And that moment they meet, they can't even speak to each other. It's all pantomime.
Yeah.
It's just, and I love adipose. I mean, and anybody knows. Andrew gave me an adipose. He gives me all the things I love in life. Well, okay. Okay, let's continue. 37 for me was Boomtown.
Yeah, I think that was fairly lower on my list, but I rewatched that one. That's a good one. In fact, some of the ones I put in our very first episode, I probably would have changed based on memory. 36, The Impossible Planet and the Satan Pit. Now, I will say that the first time I saw that episode, I did not like it. I didn't like the idea of the Doctor running into the actual Satan. However, with that one part of it ignored, it is a very creepy episode. Really well put together episode.
Yeah. 36 for me is The Unicorn and the Wasp. Mm-hmm. I love that they took a historical fact, which I did not know about, and actually put it in there. I had no idea Agatha Christie had actually vanished for those 7 days. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was absolutely brilliant that they used that. You think that's what it was?
I have no idea.
Okay, but I thought that was really cool to use a historical fact like that in a story.
Yeah, absolutely. 35 for me, Turn Left. And again, another Dr. Light episode that just really, even though it's about Martha, it really talks about how
I thought it was
important...
Left Turn.
Left Turn?
I think it's what it's called.
Is it? You think it's Left Turn?
And you have Turn Left. We're going to have to check on that, but yeah.
I'm going to stick with my guns on there. And
okay.
So
I usually could have been wrong on that. 35 for me is Space and Time, which is the 2 Amy episode. It's
up the skirt one?
Yeah. The mini-sode. The 2 Amy's.
Sure, mini skirt sode.
Yeah, mini skirt sode. Yeah, the 2 Amy's. That's all I need to say. Yeah. 2 Amy's.
34, The Power of Three, which I think is an excellent episode, and it suffers from a really poor ending.
Yeah.
But it has Brian Williams in it, which is enough to rank it as high as it is.
Yeah, and honestly, I just rewatched it not too long ago. It was much better than I remember, and plus it has a Stewart in it.
I know. Yeah, that's true.
Let's see. Did I do my 34 yet?
No.
Okay, my 34 is The Stolen Earth.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Did I review that episode? I can't remember review that episode.
We haven't. If you did, it was before my time.
I can't remember.
That far.
Okay.
33 for me, The Fires of Pompeii.
Okay. 33 for me, Amy's Choice.
Amy's Choice.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're only about 10 off of that
Yeah.
one. 32. Now we're really getting into best of the best here.
Yeah.
School Reunion.
Oh, good episode.
It's a great episode. And
honestly, I think, and I can't remember where it's on my list. My only issue with that is the villain in it. I thought they wasted Stuart Head.
I agree, and I think that it's not that great of a story, but you had to take all these other aspects of it, and that's why it is of in my say top 32.
Yeah.
It is 32 as opposed to being a little higher. If the story had been a little better, it survives as high as it is, not from the base of the strength.
What is your 31? And because mine's going to be a sort of a two-parter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My 31 is the Idiot's Lantern, which I think is one of Gaddis's best.
Yeah. And for me, 32, 31. And for me to put anything at 32, because 32 is my lucky number, my special number, we have Human Nature and the Family of Blood. God, what an incredible two-parter.
Fantastic story.
Yeah.
30 for me is Father's Day, which is an excellent episode, and really one of the reasons it's ranked so highly for me is because early on in the series they set the you can't go back on your own timeline. Yeah. It actually plays a story part for the whole show.
Okay, for me, 30 is Closing Time.
Yeah. Stormageddon.
Stormageddon. What a great name.
Really fantastic, and for all of our friends who have named their children Stormageddon.
And I actually know a lot.
Yeah. My wife has just went, no. 29. This one was much lower on my list until I rewatched it again this weekend. Rise of the Cybermen and Age of Steel, which I think, even though it's not has anything to do with the traditional Cybermen, I really enjoyed it. If it wasn't for the very long exit of Mickey at the end, I might even rank it a little higher. But it's a solid Doctor Who story. Alternate timelines. If you want to mess with pre-existing stories, go with an alternate timeline.
29 for me is The Lodger.
Oh,
as you can see, a sort of not a two-parter, but a two-parter.
All right. We're getting down to the done. We're gonna ending at 21, aren't we?
No, we're gonna actually end at 25.
At 25?
No, at 26, so we can have the top 25 next time we do the show.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. 28, The Unicorn and the Wasp, which even though people say it's farcical, I think it is one of the most enjoyable episodes of all of Doctor Who.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is, as much as I love them in Smith and Jones, Partners in Crime, the way they play off each other, they really played off each other that episode.
And I didn't know this because I watched this episode and I love this episode. It was an episode I used to introduce people to. When I started going back and watching Classic Who, the fact that Jago is in it, Henry Gordon Jago, is that? I have...
it's Lightfoot and Django.
Yeah.
Django and Lightfoot.
But the fact that he's in there, not the character, the actor, I thought it was a nice touch.
My next two are two-parter again. Day of the Moon at 28 and 27, The Impossible Astronaut.
Okay. Do we want to talk about that one? Do you
want to? I don't know.
No, you're just going to name it?
Because, we've talked about it extensively on the show.
We have.
Yeah.
One that I haven't talked about much, number 27 for me, is The Waters of Mars.
Love that episode.
I rewatched it yesterday. Just a fantastic episode. I knew it was good. I remembered it being good. I rewatched it, and it's just so well done.
It was Davies at his best, which brought me so high hopes for...
End of Time?
The End of Time.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So, I'm watching it. My wife is getting ready to go to class, and she's listening to the captain, and she goes, "Is that Lady Smallwood from last night's episode of Sherlock?" And sure enough, it is. Yes.
Wow.
And Moriarty's in it.
Is he really?
The actor who plays Moriarty is the guy who runs Gadget.
Oh, wow.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm going to have to rewatch it. It's been a long time since I watched that episode. I love that episode.
I actually haven't done my fact check, so if I'm wrong on one or both accounts, I apologize.
Okay.
So you did 27 already, right?
Yeah, I did 27.
26. And the last one on our list for this episode, The Doctor's Wife.
It's getting tough. We're in our top 25 almost.
And I know that some people are going to decry The Doctor's Wife. Why so low? Again... I think there's some wonderful nostalgia involved in it. I don't think the story is a fantastic story, but it certainly has some amazing moments. No one can argue that. So it makes it into the top 26.
And for me, the for 26, and my last one, I'll have to say Pirate Amy.
Yeah.
Curse of the Black Spot. It would be higher on the list if we had 2 Pirate Amy's, but
or 2 Sirens. Lily Cole.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, it's. I like the episode. I like that we got space pirates again. We've talked about it on the show, but that closes us off, bringing us to next time our top 25 episodes, our favorite 25 episodes of NuWHO. Though technically, mine will actually be 26 because I got to work in the Christmas special in mine. So I'm going to have sort of a number A and a number B for a certain number. But yeah, that brings us to the end of this episode of Galloping Pirate Radio. Until next time, we are signing off. Peace. And also, like again, if you agree with us, if you disagree with us, let us know what you think about any of our choices and any of our numbering. We'd love to hear what you have to say because I am enjoying, like I said last time, interacting with you guys on YouTube, on Facebook. It's a blast having these conversations. So until next time, again, peace.
Are we sure we're done? Oh.
Yeah.